And we are live. We are live at Quarantine Cocktails, coming at you from the basement bar, Lovecraft Cocktails. This is Quarantiki number 59. We're going to do a Memorial Day special. So we're going to do a tribute to four of our armed services. We're going to do a tribute to the Army, the Navy, the Marines, and of course the Air Force. So we're going to do all four of those. I'm sorry, we're going to leave out the Coast Guard. We're going to leave out the Guardians for now. For now, we'll get around there. Um, this feels weird to me because last night I was hosting making drinks for another online event, and so I was cutting videos making drinks, and so I'm like, wait, haven't I already done this weekend? But no, this is a different event. We are actually going to do a special event here on Quarantiki 60, 61, somewhere around there. We'll all go through the drinks that we did for the Conquest RoomCon and talk about them and how we came up with them, that sort of thing. But tonight in honor of Memorial Day, it is all about our armed servicemen and women. We are going to do cocktails for each one of the services, so that's pretty awesome, pretty special. My dad was Navy for 20 years, so of course I'm kind of into the whole Navy grog thing. We'll be doing a pair of Navy grogs. We might even start with the Navy grog so we can sit and sip on the Navy grog as the night goes by. Although I don't know, the couple of these drinks are a little lighter in volume and spirit, so we might end on the Navy grog. So we're going to play around. We'll see.
Cheryl and Colleen.
Hey, Cheryl. Hi, Colleen. Howdy. Glad to have you here. What are we going to do? First, we have to toast, right? Toast. So we did get some new rums this week, and one of those rums is another one of the Foursquare Exceptional Cast series. There's a very limited release. There aren't a lot of places in the DC metro area where you can get a bottle of this, and I was very lucky to be able to do so. And that is sitting right up here, right front and center. This is the Shibboleth Exceptional Cask, and this is, wow, very bright. I can no longer see. So this is cast for 16 years. It is a combination of pot and column still, like the entire Foursquare series is. So let's see, it's 56% alcohol. So it is not as hot as some of their cast strength releases, which
I'm looking forward to it. We have not actually tried this yet.
And it was aged in ex-bourbon casks, in case you were wondering. Some of the others have been aged in other casks. This is strictly ex-bourbon.
Our boys at S&R came through for us. And
so, as you might know, sometimes when you just open a fresh bottle, it can be a little on the hot side. So I already opened this bottle and pour us a couple of toasts in our cotton and reed glasses. And these have been sitting out and open for about half an hour or so. So they've had a chance to breathe and remove some of that tightness that you would normally expect. I got high hopes for the Shibboleth. Well, that's very nice. It is not overpowering on the nose, but there are definite, there's some wood and vanilla notes in there.
Definitely vanilla.
There's a light spice note to it, but I can't place what that is. Maybe a little cinnamon, like a really mild, like Ceylonese cinnamon, something along those lines. I have trouble placing it exactly. What is in my glass? Oh, well, that's not good. Yeah. Anyway, so what are we toasting? We're toasting to those that have lost their lives in defense of our country. So there we go. To you. It's a tasting trick. Anytime you're dealing anything with that is slightly over your usual 40-43%, take a sip, run it around in your mouth. Don't worry about what those flavor notes are. Although, wow, that's a citrus rind end of that. Oh, that's really brilliant.
That's yummy. I am not disappointed.
That second taste, you will really pick up much more notes. The first one is just acclimating the palate to this. Oh, there's some definite toffee notes to that. that clean, crisp, citrusy end of this rum is really delightful. And there's definitely the wood, the oak, the tannin is there, but it just provides enough backbone for it. It's not overwhelmingly. Oh, sorry, that was just a part of the finish suddenly comes alive in your mouth. Oh, that is a brilliant rum. Once again, Foursquare has not disappointed. I will say there have been a couple of the recent exceptional casts that we weren't quite as pleased with. This is brilliant. I'm
Well, the one right before this,
um,
the
the
Redoubtable
was quite good.
Greg Terry.
Yay, Greg!
It's great that you're doing Memorial Day theme. I'm drinking a small glass of Bacardi Gold and Ginger Ale in honor of your show.
Sweet.
Bruce says good toast and cheers. Keith, who can actually post this week?
Yes, Keith can post. Yay! Yay! All right, so what should we start with? Do you want to know about new stuff? New things we got? Okay, so obviously we got the new rum here, but that was not the only new rum that we got. Because we have this habit. We went for this rum.
I went.
She went. I was working. I was earning the money so that we could buy these rums. And our friends at SNR were wonderful and delightful in managing to make sure that we got a bottle of this. But as long as they were at it, they thought they might let us know that one of the last bottles of the Black Tot that they had available was still available. And they said, if you have not tried the Black Tot rum, you should. So we did. So the Black Tot, if you don't know, the Black Tot is a reference to the tot of rum that used to be given to British sailors. And the Black Tot refers to the very last tot that was legally given to the British sailors. And you'll excuse me, I do not remember the exact date. It's celebrated each year as Black Tot Day. And, you know, we're going to have to drink some of this on that day.
June 31st. July 31st.
July 31st, the wife says, is Black Tot Day. So we will be drinking some of this then. This is a good, it's in the $50 range. So, I mean, this is a reasonably expensive bottle. You're splurging if you're used to, you know, buying Bacardi. This is an expensive bottle. It does have some complexity. It lacks a little on the length of its finish and that sort of thing. So, you know, it's a good, solid rum. We're actually going to use this in a cocktail this evening. What else did we get? Baku. So we love Baku. Baku is from the Dominican Republic, and we have their 5, their 8, and their 12-year expressions. And so this is their, it's charcoal filtered. It's 3 years, so it's the youngest of their expressions. Normally a 3-year rum, you would see some coloration, but it's charcoal filtered to take that out, and that's why you've got the white. Same thing with like Bacardi. Bacardi Superior is actually slightly aged, but it's charcoal filtered to get that clean color out of this. Dominican Republic, slightly on the sweet end, good rums, and reasonably priced. Oh my gosh, they're so well priced. Such a good rum. And?
Chairman's?
Oh, right. I thought there was an and to the Baku. No. We still have others. This was not the only Foursquare rum that was purchased. There is a bottling group called Real McCoy that purchases or Foursquare Distillery also bottles under the label of the Real McCoy, and this is a limited edition. Their 14-year limited edition. And this was quite good. This is 46%. You get all the information. Again, it's a Foursquare, so it's going to be a combination of column and pot still. It's not up to the exceptional cask series of rums, but this is a solid rum. A Real McCoy, really good stuff. Solid rum if you're making a daiquiri. And last but not least, I have a weakness for St. Lucian rums. They have a certain funkiness to them that is very, very different from the Jamaican funk, and I really like that characteristic. And so Chairman's Reserve is probably my favorite brand from St. Lucia. And what we have here is the Chairman's Reserve was it the 1931 release. So here is that. No, this is not from 1931. It is not that aged. This is just a special bottling that they do every year. It's a really good rum. It's really, really yummy. So on the price points, the Baku is the cheapest. The Black Todd would be the next expensive. The Chairman's Reserve is up there and only for rum aficionados. And then the Shibboleth is at an even higher price point. Start with the Aviation, the wife says. All right, what do we do with an Aviation? Okay, the Aviation is a shaken cocktail, and it is lemon, Luxardo, and gin with a little bit of creme de violet to give it kind of a sky blue coloration. And you have to be really careful with the creme de violet, though, because violet as a flavoring can be really, really overpowering. And you want that in there to get just a bit of that floral note and the color, but you don't want it to take over the drink. Luxardo, on the other hand, provides a little bit of sweetness. Luxardo looks like this. Maraschino liqueur. Maraschino, as you might know, talks about cherries. This is actually made from the pits of cherries. This is not a sweet cherry cordial kind of liqueur. It's a very different flavor, and this shows up in a whole bunch of sort of masterclass classic cocktails. You see me use this on occasion up here. So that and so Luxardo, creme de violet, lemon juice, and gin. So that's what's going to go in here. So first of all, we're going to go with the cheap ingredient first, which is the lemon juice. I have to double check here. Nope, that's lime. This is lemon. So we need 3/4 of an ounce of lemon juice.
So Andre said to do something for the Space Force.
So to the best of my knowledge, the Space Force has not lost anybody in the line of service yet. Knock on wood, thank goodness. And so, you know, we're gonna leave them off the Memorial Day this time around. Trying to really to be very good, not lapse into a Space Ghost reference or anything like that, or refer to the Guardians of the Galaxy, or I'm not going to do any of that.
Andrea and Brooke are toasting us with 5-year Baku.
5-year Baku is being toasted for us over at Brooke and Andrea's. Excellent choice. All right, so there's a 1/2 ounce of Luxardo. And then we need a 1/4 ounce, just a little bitty 1/4 ounce of creme de violet. So about the only drink that I make that uses creme de violet is this one, the Aviation, and a drink that I call the Ghost Orchid, which I tend to use for like Halloween parties and that sort of thing. It's a very pretty drink. However, we tend to like those cocktails, as you can tell, because that's what remains of the creme de violet. Don't worry, there's a second bottle of creme de violet in the back. We're good. We're good. It'll all be fine. The creme de violet does have some sugar in it, and when you have sugar in the cap, especially on a twist cap, what it will do is, of course, it crystallizes and makes it very, very hard to open that cap. You can hear it crunch as I turn that. Yeah, that's fun. A 1/4 ounce, and I don't even think you want a full 1/4 ounce with this. I think what you want is like a scant 1/4 ounce. Man, we're gonna be very careful here, because if I go over, disaster will occur. Yep, right under the quart. So the meniscus line, I've got the meniscus line right. I've got the wash line for the creme de violet just under the meniscus line in there. So, there you go. So scant 1/4 ounce creme de violet. Now, what do you use for the gin? Because there are a lot of gins on the market. So kind of classically, Meehan's Bartender's Guide says to use Tanqueray. I don't stock Tanqueray. Several other guides just say use some dry gin. I can't get away from the fact that there's a gin called Aviation, and it's an American gin, and it's got an aircraft. It looks like even a World War II fighter aircraft on the label. So we're going to use that because, yeah, Aviation gin.
Ryan Reynolds.
Formerly, Ryan Reynolds owned, at least part owner of Aviation. He has sold his portion for some massive amount of money. But man, those commercials were funny. All right, so Aviation. So there's lemon, Luxardo, creme de violette, and gin in this. And then we're going to throw some rocks in here. We're going to shake it all up. We're going to have a good time. Here's your Aviation. So, I should point out, interesting fact, when I was double checking on the ingredients and amounts and that sort of thing, I went to my Essential Cocktails book by Dale DeGroff, which was published in 2008. And he has a comment in that book that says, too bad you can't make an authentic Aviation because creme de violette is no longer available in the United States. And between 2008 and 2012, I think it is, creme de violette has now become available again, and there's a number of different producers of it. Tempus Fugit produces one. I forget whose I'm using here. Is this Rothman and Winter, which is the bottle that you see most times. So, we do live in a grand time for making cocktails. There's a lot of old ingredients that disappeared for a while and are now available again, which is really grand. So, I'll nod to Dale DeGroff. We're going to go with Meehan and use the creme de violette. I want a really good hard shake on that because I want a lot of dilution in here so that the flavors from the creme de violette and the Luxardo don't take over. And this is often served in a coupe or a martini glass. And since there are two of us, we're going to use these cute little mini martini glasses. We shook it a lot, so we've got a bunch of ice shards in there. So I'm going to double strain this as well.
Ruth loves your shirt.
Oh yeah, I should probably mention the shirt. So we have a stained glass Cthulhu t-shirt, collared shirt. There's the back end. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with this. I kind of like this. All right. Yep, we're getting a pale blue color on this. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to tell in this light. I'll let that sit for a moment. So one thing I'm trying to get a little bit better at is I've always thought that if you are serving cocktails, that from the time you throw the ice in to the time that you want to minimize the time between putting the ice in and serving it to your guest. What I am finding is that there are certain cocktails that benefit from
a rest. Like a steak.
Just taking it easy for a moment or two, which is another reason to get it really bracingly cold, because you don't want it warming up, because this is not a good drink warm. It really isn't. So you don't want this room temperature. You want it cold, but you want a chance for those flavors to come back together. So
they sold the company.
Aviation. All right.
But Ryan Reynolds will remain the public face for 10 years as part of the deal.
Oh, I see. So apparently Ryan Reynolds' face was equity, or equity. It was an asset. It was an asset to the Aviation chain. And I'm sure that Ryan is getting plenty of money for that particular deal. He's doing quite fine, which is good, because he's got responsibilities to the universe, to the galaxy, not the universe. All right. The Aviation, to the Air Force.
To the Air Force.
And if you must, the Space Force.
That's a damn fine drink.
That is nice.
It's crisp.
I got it right on the creme de violette.
It's crisp. It's bright. There's
a little bit of the flowery.
Yeah.
I do have the drawback that my incense is right here, and it is wafting into my nose, which kind of obliterates some of the floral notes of this. It's like, oh wow, I smell smoke, Here, so I'm going to move over here. Look, I'm still in screen, dripping my drink. Spilling my drink? Dripping? Whatever. Oh, that is delightful. Yep. Oh, there's the Luxardo. Nope, tooting my own horn here, I nailed that one. That one's good. That is, once I got out of the smoke, oh wow, that was really good. Because, so much of what we taste is our nose. So I love the smoke. It's a great effect, but man, up my nose. Which leads me to wonder about some of these classic cocktail recipes that were served in dank, dark joints that smelled of cigar and cigarette and pipe smoke. And I wonder if some of those cocktails were designed to be olfactory compatible with that kind of environment. And it's like, this is a weird nose. Well, okay, wave a cigar over it and go, oh no, that's really good. so that could definitely be. That's quite good. The shibboleth is better. Just saying.
It is.
Oh man, that is yummy. You remember the Godzilla mug that we had previously? Well, this was done in honor. This is Mondo Tiki's mug, and is done in honor of the new release of Godzilla vs. King Kong. And you can get it in a couple of different finishes. We decided we wanted to go with the matte black finish. And so here is the Godzilla mug. All right, here's our new Godzilla mug. Is that not just freaking awesome? Yep. There you go. Here's the back end. And Mondo Tiki mark on the bottom. Oop, let's do that the other way around. Legendary. Yep. Because they got to have the legendary mark on there for the movie. Yep. Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool. Such a huge Godzilla fan. I am a huge Godzilla nerd. Not so much on like all the Godzilla trivia and stuff, but I mean, I know some of that, but pretty much if it's a Godzilla movie, I've seen it, or a spin-off, or man, I even watched that really stupid 1970s Saturday morning cartoon with Godzuki. Yeah, so
I love Katsuki.
yeah, it was bizarre, but you do what you love. All right, so that's drink one. That's our drink for the Air Force. We should probably go the opposite end of the spectrum now. Instead of doing Air Force, let's go Marine Corps. I think the Marine Corps would be the right thing to do. Hunting around, looking at recipes for the Marine Corps, and there's a variation of the salty dog. So the salty dog, you may know, is basically vodka and grapefruit juice. And apparently, as the story goes, at one point, a bunch of Marines were looking around for the ingredients to make a salty dog, and they couldn't find any vodka. So they just used tequila instead. And so was born the drink that bears the moniker of one of the nicknames of the United States Marine Corps, which is the Devil Dogs. So this is called not the Salty Dog. This is called the Devil Dog. Now, it's Marine Corps. If the Air Force was, oh, what is this bizarre bottle that you might have on the back bar? Oh, and we should take this other fairly rare bottle that you have and mix those two ingredients together and come up with a fine cocktail that we shall sit around and sip lightly in the bar. The Devil Dogs are like, man, give me two ingredients, put them in a glass, maybe put some ice in it, and we're good. So the Devil Dog is not a particularly complex drink. So what is the Devil Dog? The Devil Dog it is a shaken drink. It requires 3 ounces. 3 ounces. That's a lot. 3 ounces of tequila. Now, the notes I have say the best tequila to use for this is Jose Cuervo Black. I don't have any Jose Cuervo Black. But what I do have is... Oh, it's not there. I moved it. Where'd I put it? Oh, there it is. What I do have is a no-name brand of tequila. We will not mention it. We will not mention what it is. It is not what this bottle says. This was rebottled. But what I've done is I've infused some rosemary in here. And I actually used this tequila to make a cocktail last night. And the rosemary notes really came out and were really very nice. So I thought, you know what? Why not? So we're going to go 3 ounces of a rosemary infused tequila. So that's 2 ounces, 2 ounces, right there. And then another ounce. It's a total of 3. All right. Wow, that was really sloppy jigger work there. And now I have rosemary tequila all over my hand, which is fine, not a problem. There's a bar towel right here. And then we need 5 ounces of white grapefruit juice. Now, I am going to actually be a little scant on this because it's the Marines. You know, they want it alcohol forward. This is a 5.5 ounce can. I just poured off half an ounce, so there we go, 5 ounces. Straight up, 3 ounces tequila, 5 ounces grapefruit juice. Throw some ice in here. Where's my scoop? There's my scoop. Ice. There you go. Now we're going to put this in the highball glass, like such. And we're going to cover that with some fresh ice. Scoop goes back in there. Shake this guy up. Sure, we'll do a new lid. There's not too much to mix up here. You just got 2 ingredients. There we go. Now then, if you wanted, in the sort of salty dog kind of vein, you could do something like salt to the rim of the glass or something like that, or just take some big old hunks of like salt flakes and just throw them in the glass and be done with it. That'd be fine. In this case, we're just going to go with the purists. We're just going to pour this right in here. And there you go. Right there. There's a double dog. Grapefruit juice, rosemary infused tequila. The rosemary portion is entirely optional here. It's grapefruit juice and tequila. And please don't use your best tequila for this. So I'm going to take a sip here. I like grapefruit juice, so I kind of like this drink. I also like the rosemary element of this. I don't think this one's going to like it.
Nope.
Now, what I could do to make her like this, so over here I have this bottle left over from the last shaker and spoon. This is coffee-infused coconut water. I'll bet I could pour that over the top of this and mix that in, and she would love it, because grapefruit and coffee seem to go really, really well together. And a little hint of coconut, that would probably be really, really nice. So, you know, Pacific deployment of the Devil Dogs with a little coffee-infused coconut water probably wouldn't be all that bad. Be an ugly drink. Let's give that a try, actually. Why would I say it's an ugly drink? Because this is pretty black stuff here, black-brown. Quarter ounce or half ounce? What do you think? Half ounce? Sure, let's give that a shot. See there, that's what that looks like. Yeah, that is not crisp and clean like you would expect the Marines to be. Sharply dressed, everything pressed to the nines. Perfect. Wow! I'm glad I didn't go a full ounce. Oh, baby. Wow. That coffee-infused coconut water just takes that drink over. Wow. I'm not sure you...
You're not sure I'm going to get any of it?
No, I'm not sure you get much of the... Oh, there's the rosemary. I'm not getting much of the tequila off of that. That's really bizarre. I would not stick a straw in that because all you're going to get is coffee.
Oh, that is good.
Yeah. All right. So the improved double dog. There you go. The Pacific double dog. How's that? With the coconut coffee and coconut, the coffee infused coconut water. All right. So that's going to go over here. All right. So there you have it. I'm going to have my wife actually do some washing up here. Get these guys out of here. Actually, give me this a second because we're entirely done with what was in there. There we go. Now you can have that. I'm way behind on my drinking here because I still might. Nope, I don't have my aviation anymore. It went away. I wonder how that happened.
You have a little bit left.
That's all right. You can have the rest of the aviation because
Okay.
pretty sure I'm not tasting the aviation after hanging out with the Marines for a while. All right. So what else? What else we got? Oh, right. So I did mention Horror and Clay. And Horror and Clay, we actually do Kickstart?
Yes.
We actually do Kickstart. I've bought a number of different mugs and paraphernalia from Horror and Clay. Some of my best Cthulhu or Lovecraft-esque tiki mugs are from Horror and Clay.
See them, meet them.
Oh yeah, that's true. They're going to be at a convention that we're going to be at in January of next year.
They actually run the convention.
So we're going to get to hang with them at least some. So you may have recalled I have a double rocks glass called that has the Shores of Carcosa logo on it, which of course I cannot find at the moment. It's all right. You don't need to see it because that logo is reproduced on these two hurricane glasses, which I think is just amazing. So these are actual crystal, so they're very fragile. So there's these Shores of Carcosa. You can't see that. What am I saying? Where's my paper towel? All right, we're going to try this again. Remember last time I did this, it didn't work at all. Okay, we're going to fold up the paper towel. We're going to stick that in here. Oh yeah, there we go. There. So there is the Shores of Carcosa logo. On the back end here, we have the Gilman House logo. So these are logos from some of the other mugs that they have done in the past. And so we now have that in sort of a red and green logo, as well as the beloved teal and orange logo, which, why do we have teal and orange? Well, because I'm a huge Miami Dolphins fan, and if they're going to do it in teal and orange, I'm going to have it. And there you go. You can't really see because I can't reach that far, but there you go. Those are the two new hurricane glasses that we're being very ginger with because they're just awesome looking and very fragile. This is also, unlike some of the other mugs, this was a limited run. They're not going to make any more of these, so if I break them, I can't get new ones. So, bummer. So I got to be real careful with these. So we're keeping them in the plastic packaging with the cardboard retainer. And we will break these out for special occasions. It's too bad we didn't get them for Hurricane Night when we were doing that. Although, you know, hurricane season's coming, so we may have a chance to do that again. Who knows? All right. So we're going to put these elsewhere. Okay, I'm just going to set them right here because my sink is occupied with drying things. Right. Okay, so we've done the aviation, so our tribute to the Air Force. We've done the Devil Dog, the tribute to the Marine Corps. And then I started looking around for cocktails that I thought would be appropriate for the U.S. Army. So there are any number of different things. There's a cocktail called the Infantry. There's a cocktail that's the Artillery, I think it is, which is, it's like gin and bitters, and there was one other ingredient to it. Oh, sweet vermouth. That was it.
Yeah.
It was like,
and there's people that say the sidecar has a relevance to the Army.
Yeah, like the sidecar may have been originated with a U.S. serviceman in the Army that liked riding in sidecars. It seems kind of tenuous. You know, it's a hard connection for me to make. Now, we could have done the French 75, which is named after a French artillery piece, but I decided not to do that. I decided what I wanted to do was do an original cocktail. I have
I gave 6 years of work to an army project.
Mm.
And some of this bar is due to that project.
Yes, yes.
So the green suits are
Yeah, so green suitor is an actual, it's a term of art that you may not know. So green suitor actually refers to individuals that have, that are wearing formal dress that have graduated from the United States Army Academy, West Point. And so it's a reference back to them. So there you go, there's a green suitor. So we're gonna do a cocktail. We're gonna call it the green suitor, and I got a bunch of green stuff that I'm gonna put in it, and we're gonna go with that. So normally when you're thinking green stuff, you're thinking like chartreuse, you're thinking Midori, you're thinking lime juice, and normally you pair that with a clear liqueur to just have all that color come through. But if I pair that with like a clear rum or a gin, don't even ask me to do it with vodka, then your drink comes out vibrant green, which is not, that is not army green. So I had to go with a different direction to get the green that I wanted from this. And so we're going to use bourbon. The other reason for doing bourbon is that the Aviation uses gin, the Devil Dog uses tequila, the Navy Grog uses rum. I wanted to use a uniquely American spirit, so we're going to go with bourbon. We're going to use bourbon for this guy. Now, you could do this as a shooter, which might be appropriate for the Army. Just, straight up mix it all together and just down it. That'd be fine. I'm going to try to go for something that you could actually sip on. I tried an earlier version of this. The wife did not like it at all. I thought it was kind of cool, a little spirit forward, but also pretty sweet. So I'm going to back off on one of the sweeter components of that. And we're going to go right now with the green suitor. So what do we need with the green suitor? All right, so that's going to be another shaken cocktail. All right. Shaken cocktail because we're mixing juices and liqueurs together. Juices, liqueurs, and distilled spirits. So as a consequence, you've got all sorts of different densities. I almost said destinies. Different destinies going on. No, different densities of liquor. And it's really much easier to get an emulsion doing that when you're actually shaking it. So what are we going to do? We're going to do a ½ ounce of lime juice. Here's my jigger. Let me clear out the jigger. Because right now that jigger has the coffee-infused coconut water, and that would not at all be good in the green suitor. I know, it sounds like I'm saying green shooter, but that's not it. Green suitor. Yep. All right, so what are we doing? Lime juice, right. Lime. Green, ½ ounce. Saying, wait, Pooch, don't you normally put your sweet component in first so that you can use your acid to clean that out? Yeah, I usually do, but in this case, the sweet component is coming from something that isn't really going to stick to my glass very much, my jigger, and that is Midori. Midori is a nice sweet melon liqueur. I just keep it on hand. First time I made this, I used about 3/4 of an ounce. Excuse me, I used a full ounce of the Midori. That turned out to be way too much, way too sweet. So we're going to go with 3/4 of an ounce. And I'm actually going to make that a scant 3/4 of an ounce. So not even a full 3/4. Just under that meniscus line. There you go. So the meniscus is just under the line in the jigger. Technically, that's what I'm doing here. All right. Next up, another green liqueur. I'm going to go with chartreuse because this drink, if you just did the Midori and the bourbon together, it'd be a little weird and too sweet and not at all army-like. So we're going to add a little complexity to it. Chartreuse is made with, I don't know how many different herbs and things and that sort of thing. And the Army is freaking huge. It's the largest of the services. They got all sorts of different components and divisions and pieces to it all over the place. So using something like chartreuse, which has got all sorts of different things all thrown together into one in the service of something that actually tastes good and works, seems like a good call. So we're going to go with a scant 1/4 of an ounce of the chartreuse. That is not what I'm looking for. Completely overshot there. Yeah, I have no idea what that's going to do to the double dog. Probably evil, vile things. All right, so there we go. So there's a scant quarter ounce chartreuse in there. Now, chartreuse plays really, really well with gin. So we're going to find out how well it plays with bourbon. Star says, nope, doesn't play well with bourbon. I didn't like that drink. It's okay. We're also, because it seems thematic, I know the spelling's not right, but we're going to use Bullet bourbon, because Bullet Army, it seems to work, right? Fair enough. We're going to go 1.5 ounces. And if I am right, if my suspicions are right here, 3/4 ounce. And am I correct here? How close are we going to come? Oh no, oh no. There you go. There's 1.5 ounces of bourbon. Sure. It's Memorial Day. Dead soldier. There you go. To get a little brightness out of this, I'm going to throw some lime pieces in there. So when I'm slicing limes for either garnish or for juice, I will lop off the ends of the lime, and then I keep these, and I throw them in when I am mixing, when I'm shaking, and that breaks them up a little bit, provides a little more of the rind oil into the cocktail, brightens it up, gives it a little more liminess. Which I know you don't want liminess in your cocktail when you're talking about the U.S. Army. British sailors. All right, there you go. Ice. How we doing? We having fun? We doing all right? How we doing on time? We're like 8:15. All right, not so bad. Been worse. Totally been worse. All right, lid this up. Green Suitor coming at you. Very loud. Reminds me of a line from Good Morning Vietnam. Adrian Cronauer is sitting there and he's doing his little bit. And he's jokingly taking a request from the field. And it's from an artillery unit. And the joke is essentially, it's like, so what do you want to hear? It's like, I don't care what I hear, just make sure it's loud. Because, you know, artillery, boom, big guns, that sort of thing. So there we go. That is the Green Suitor. We're going to double strain this because now I've got little bits of lime in there, and that's no good. So where's my strainers? Strainer 1, strainer 2, rocks glass. And see, with a clear spirit, this would be a really, really vibrant green. That, to my eye, looks a lot more like the greens that we get on the Green Suitors. So, there you go. In honor of the Army, a Green Suitor. We're going to see about this. Oh, I'm thinking that's significantly better than the first one. Cutting back on the Midori made a difference.
Oh, that's good.
There you go.
Good job.
She was like, the face she made for the first one was just like, nope, do not like that. Do not like that at all. She likes that one. That's she's pretty happy about that.
Are you done with this?
I am done with that. Yep, no, we're good. So there you go. There's the Green Suitor. So we've done the Aviation for the Air Force. We've done the Devil Dog for the United States Marine Corps. And now we've done an original cocktail, the Green Suitor for the Army. That just leaves one thing. And of course, you know, saving the best for last.
Brat.
I am, in fact, a Navy brat. Spent a lot of time in the Pacific, along the west coast of California. Star, I'm going to need another one of the white grapefruit cans.
Okay, sure.
So we're going to do 2 different Navy Grogs. I'm going to make them simultaneously so you don't have to sit here and watch me make 2 of the same drink. back to back. And we're just going to play around with rums in them. Because one of the defining features of the Navy Grog is that it has 3 different rums in it. 3 different complementary rums. And so we're going to play that up. We're going to play around with just the rum component of these guys. So, to the Navy. All right, 20 years in the Navy. Salute your dad. Caused me to be born in the Philippines. Spent years on Guam. Years at a NAVCOM stay in the Central Valley of California, which you wouldn't think would be a big Navy base, but man, it was pretty big. It was pretty important when we were stationed there. It was very bizarre growing up. At one point, when I moved away for school, I realized that this was the first time that I was living someplace that hadn't had a big red Soviet targeting circle around it in my entire life. Yeah, so yes, I'm totally dating myself because I said Soviets, and I mean it. Soviet targeting circle. Large portion of my life was tied up with the Navy. And I still have a soft spot for those guys. So there we go. We're going to do Navy Grog. So Navy Grog is a blended cocktail. 2 different blender tins. So what are we doing? All right, most of the components are going to be the same between these two. One is going to be the sort of lower end, and the other would be the upper end of the Navy Grogs. All right, let's clean this out. This sugar's getting sticky. I'm really surprised at the green cedar. Just the difference between 1 ounce of Midori and scant 3/4 of an ounce of Midori made a huge difference there. So that's pretty impressive. Okay, there's not a lot of sweet component here. There's a quarter ounce of Demerara syrup, and this is made according to the Smuggler's Cove recipe, and Smuggler's Cove uses a 2-to-1 rich Demerara syrup, and that's what I have on hand. We've recently seen individuals talking about using different percentages of sugar in their syrups. We've seen arguments for the 1-to-1. We've seen arguments for 1.5-to-1. I gotta say, I'm a disciple of Martin Cate. I really like the recipes from Smuggler's Cove, and I really like how they come out. And my syrups last so much longer at 2-to-1 than they would at 1-to-1 or something just under 2-to-1. And given the amount of drinks that we make around here, which I know appears like it is a huge amount of cocktails, but we don't do this every night. So having syrups that actually last a while is actually kind of critically important to us. Okay. Next up, also a slightly sweet ingredient, but not entirely, is allspice dram. And allspice dram is the one you can get most often is the St. Elizabeth's allspice dram. You can usually find this in your liquor stores. There's a really good allspice dram that is made by Cotton and Reed here in the DC area. They're a rum distiller. They make a really, really fine, exceptional allspice dram. I love using that. It's pungent, baking, fall, Christmassy spices. The St. Elizabeth's is a good, solid blend, but it just doesn't have that same punch to it, which is fine. There's also wow, you can actually get it. All right, so there you go. I'm gonna go a little more than a 1/4 ounce because I like the flavor of allspice dram. So, I mean, it's still a 1/4 ounce, but it's a fat 1/4 ounce. So my meniscus is slightly above the line in the jigger.
Do you want to explain meniscus for non-chemistry majors?
Oh, I'm sorry. Non-chemistry majors out there. Okay, meniscus. So when you pour liquid into a tumbler or something, what you'll see is sort of a flat level of the liquid, and then if you look closely, you'll see just a little curved shape underneath that flat level. And the curved shape, the bottom of that curve, is actually where you want to line up with whatever measurement markings are on your vial, cylinder, jigger, etc. That bottom level of the curve, that is the meniscus line. So that's what we're talking about there. Excuse me, sorry. But got this bad smoking habit going on. Whew. Oh, I'm going to have to move. I really like the looks of this, but I'm going to have to move this incense away from me in future broadcasts. It's just, whew, that's a little too much. All right, we need 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice now. Is this the lime? This is the lime. 3/4 of an ounce goes in each. I know I'm talking way too much, not mixing enough. Here's 3/4 of an ounce. And 3/4 of an ounce. All right, what's next up? Well, next up is grapefruit juice. So we're going to get a split base on the sour here, and the sour component being grapefruit juice. All right, so we've got 1/2 ounce here, and we need a can, another can opened, because we're going to go 3/4 of an ounce. So it's 3/4 ounce lime, 3/4 of an ounce grapefruit juice. And here you really, the Navy Grog really needs the white grapefruit juice. It just absolutely does. The ruby red grapefruit juice is just too sweet for this. So if you were going to do ruby red, I would cut back on the Demerara syrup, but you're already only putting 1/4 ounce in. So it's really hard to cut back on that. Okay, that is it except for the rums. So here's where we get some fun and games in this. So you want some aged, blended, probably slightly Jamaican-ish rum for this. We're going to do 1 ounce of Smith & Cross. All right. So Smith & Cross is a Jamaican blend. It's got some funk to it. It's pretty nice. It's an overproof, but not horrendously overproofed. We're going to go a little odd with the other option here. So the Smith & Cross is not a really, really hot rum. So this is what, 57% alcohol. So it's roughly the same as the shibboleth that we were having earlier this evening. And it does have some age on it, as you can tell from the coloration on the bottle, which helps mellow that out some. So instead of that, for the other one, we are going to go straight up Jamaican funk. We're going to go the Worthy Park Estates rum bar. So this is going to be significantly hotter. This is 63% alcohol and is unaged. So that is going to take away that mellowing characteristic. So hoo-ah. There you go. Rum bar. Next up, you'd like an aged, blended, not a pot still. So we just did pot stills. So you want a blended pot and column still rum to go in for the next one. All right, so what are we going to do here? We got all sorts of options. We could do something like the, what have I got up here? Well, we could do the plantation. We could do the OFTD. Right, so if you want to make this a significantly strong, so this is Jamaican, Guyana, Barbados combined. We could do the Bank 7. So we've been using the Bank 7 a lot. I think that might actually be a good thing to do. Let's do the Bank 7 for this. For both of these, we're going to use the Bank 7. Right. Both? Yeah, both. Bank 7. Another ounce. So you can tell the Navy Grog is get some rums that play well together and see and have some fun with this. All right? So we're going to use the Bank 7 instead of the OFTD. Didn't open the OFTD, that's fine. Now the last rum that is generally called for in these is a strictly column still rum. And usually a very lightly or unaged rum. So what we're going to do is we're going to go with the Baku White for the one on the left. So the one on the left is going to be very much more of a traditional Navy Grog. The one on the right's a little funkier. And to play that up, we're throwing the Black Tot in there. Ooh. And so we're going to go a full ounce of the Black Tot in this one. Black Tot's got some heavy Demerara elements to it, which none of the other rums... Okay, the Bank 7 does, but because it's mixed with so many other things, they're kind of missing. The black tot, that'll come through pretty clearly. And I'm hoping that will hit some of the median notes in the cocktail that might be missing from this one. Now it's time to take another shot of the shibboleth, because shibboleth. Still so good. Don't mix with that. That's way too good to mix with. All the subtle notes would just be absolutely lost in a cocktail. Unless you did like a rum old-fashioned, that would work. One of the nice things about the Exceptional series from Foursquare is that almost any cocktail that you use a bourbon or whiskey in, any sort of refined cocktail where you're used to getting the finer notes of the bourbons or whiskeys, you can use a Foursquare Exceptional cask in and get those same kinds of notes from it without losing the distinctive rum characteristics of that. So there you go. We got two different Navy Grogs. The only differences here are the rums that are in these. And that is the primary difference that you are going to get if you are going to different cocktail bars and ordering a Navy Grog. Unless you're going to bad ones and then they're putting weird things in it. And once again, if your Navy Grog comes out pink, it's not a good Navy Grog. Don't do that. If your Mai Tai is pink, it's not a good Mai Tai. It's not Mai Tai. Alright, so we're going to go full scoop of ice in here. Blend this. There you go. It's a nice flash blend. So under 10 seconds. I went about 8 seconds on that, hopefully. Do we have a David and Chris? No, we don't have a David and Chris this week. That's right.
They are on the Mississippi.
They're on the Mississippi. They're having a fine old time. I don't have a mug for this. What am I doing? There's no mug. I don't have a tiki mug up here. I stole my Godzilla mug. I can't do anything.
You want the Godzilla mug?
Sure, we can take the Godzilla mug. It'll get a little lost. This is not a hugely deep cocktail, right? So now normally this is open pour with a gated finish. What does that mean? That means that you would slap a, so maybe Grog, you can use a cask for that. Seems like a good plan. So Navy Grog, open pour gated finish. Normally what that means is you pour it open until you get about 3/4 of the way up in the glass, and then you put the Hawthorne strainer over it to gate out the rest of the ice, because you want all of the liquid from here, and you don't want, well, you want all of the liquid from here, and if your mug is running out of room, you'd rather have the liquid and not the ice. The Godzilla mug's really big, so we're not going to worry about it. There you go. This should be garnished with mint, but we did not have time to grab mint before we started this journey, so we don't have any mint. That's not true. We have mint outside, but we do not have mint inside. Oh my goodness, I need something to drink. Oh, that smoke catching the throat. Well, because the door's open, I've got a natural breeze that comes this way, which is very cooling and makes my life much easier behind the bar. Unfortunately, it means I get the smoke in my face all the time. 8 seconds? 8 seconds. Sounds good to me. Oh, those two blends should be roughly equivalent in time. Right? There we go. Once again, open pour with gated finish, but there's no need for a gated finish because these mugs are big. And oh, man. Oh, this was the second one, wasn't it? Yep, that's... I was like, oh, let me stick my nose in here and see if I can tell a difference. Oh, that smells nice. Oh, that smells like Worthy Park. Yeah, okay. So, here's the deal. When you've got glasses that are really deep and you're trying to put mint in them and you haven't filled them up all of the way, one of the things that you can do... Grab another one of these. We're going to use the big straw, long, big, wide, open mouth straws from Surfside Sips. So the other thing you can do, though, is you can find like a smaller straw, like this one, or there we go. There's one. This is a spoon straw, so you can stick that in there as well. this in there. And then you can just stuff the mint in like such that when you go to, so, this is not quite, so this is too tall to do that with. But you get the general idea. How about if we go
Bone straw.
bone straw? Bone straw is taller, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll work. So the bone straw there. Yep. So, oh, I'm sorry, totally right. You want the olfactory component here to be activated. Smack, David, hopefully somewhere you're drinking at this point. Somewhere drinking on the Mississippi. So, as your little garnish, you just stick the mint in here, right? And then when somebody goes to take a drink, they have to kind of stick their nose in the mint so they get that burst of mint while they're sipping,
Mm-hmm.
which, so I'm told, and I think it's true, for the Navy Grog, that burst of mint is actually really important to the cocktail itself. These straws are going to be fun.
That's yummy. Okay, Navy's my favorite.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to swap these. That is really good. I'm guessing this is better. Oh, but that's good. Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, wow. The Smith and Cross really just holds that together.
It does. It does.
I thought some of the middle notes might be missing on it, but no, the Smith and Cross is holding that all together very
Let's
nicely.
give him a close up of Godzilla.
Oh. Okay. So. Oh man. So I was about to say that maybe going with the rum bar was the wrong move with this, because on first taste, this tastes like a cocktail made with rum bar. The Worthy Park element is just right there in your face. All the other flavors blend together, but you're missing the rest of the rums. I was about to make that comment, and then the Worthy Park Jamaican funk faded away, and the black tot comes through and says, "Okay, buddy, my turn here." And you're like, "Oh, that's a surprising flavor. Oh, I quite like that." And then the flavor morphs again as you're sitting there, as that sip goes down your throat, and then you get these wafts of that Jamaican funk from the Worthy Park coming back. Now, I got to say, the Baku Silver is not adding a whole lot to either of these. The Bank 7, I think, is just a great rum for the center portion, because it's just going to even everything out. It's just got that nice. The Baku doesn't add a whole lot to the other cocktail. It's just lightly aged silver rum. Add some sweetness to it, which is probably why the sweetie is taking that one. Both of these, massively complex. The Navy Grog is one of those cocktails that really shows you that merging different rums together gives you a very unique profile, and you can customize that however you would like. Unlike, say, mixing bourbons, you would never mix like 3 different bourbons together. They would just stomp all over each other. But here, we've done 3 blends of rums together, and it still really works, and there's so much complexity to that cocktail. I think the Navy Grog is great. This is not the same cocktail at all if you would just go 3 ounces, 1 rum. I mean, if you're going to do that, use something complicated like the Bank 7 or the Denizen, or I guess you could go 3 full ounces of the Black Tot if you wanted, because all of those are blends and are bringing multiple flavors to it. But bringing something like the rum bar to this, where it gets to shine, but then there's all of these other rum flavors around it, that's what the Navy Grog is great at. So there you go. We got 4 services, 4 different drinks, 1 original from Lovecraft Cocktails, the Green Suitor. Got the Aviation, the Devil Dog, the Green Suitor, and 2 different Navy Grogs, the only difference being the rums here. We got a taste of the Shibboleth. We got a switch up of the Navy Grog using a coffee-infused coconut water. We got ourselves a Dead Soldier. We're calling this a Memorial Day to celebrate, I think. Anything else? What else we got? I think that's it.
I think
we're
that's it.
So I'm going to have my wife come over here. thank you all for watching. We are 59 episodes into Quarantiki, and we're going to continue doing this. We were watching Alton Brown earlier today, and Alton and Elizabeth, and doing their quarantine kitchen thing. And they said, even as we come out of the quarantine, we're going to keep doing this because it's important to remember what we went through. And so, I may change the name at some point from Quarantiki to something else, but I think we're going to...
There may be some odd ones because we've already got some out-of-town trips.
Yeah,
we have bought airline tickets.
Oh, that's right.
And made hotel reservations.
I don't know how this is going to work. The whole idea that, we're not going to be at the home bar on a Sunday and needing to do a Quarantiki broadcast, it's going to be interesting. So stay tuned.
But we might be at a tiki bar.
We
and do a short episode of what we're drinking.
So it may very well be back to the original days of, oh wow, that video quality is really not good. So bear with us on those.
There is that
as we work our way through and find that out. But,
and we have a last minute audience member who's going to run up here and say hi before we say goodbye.
Oh, am I on camera?
You're going to be on camera.
Just for like 30 seconds because I look like crap.
That's all right.
That's all right. We're calling it quits. This is the end of the show.
And January is going to help us drink what's left.
Oh, I'm totally drinking everything.
Oh, yep. All right, folks, so that's it. That's our 59th episode. Stay tuned next week for the 60th episode. Maybe we'll talk the drinks we did for RoomCon.
Maybe. Or maybe we'll do something different.
Yep, but it's got to do a RoomCon one at some point. We did...
So Jimmy says we don't have to because we did the videos.
Yeah, Jimmy says, but we might do it anyway. In any case, you can catch them on YouTube. We actually did upload them to YouTube. So if you want to see those videos of the cocktails that we made for the Kansas City convention... They are named after the nicknames of individuals that were present at RoomCon. So there you go. That's it. That's a wrap. We're going to close up shop now. I'm going to reach over, hit the big red button. We got the Mission Impossible theme going in the background. How awesome is that? So we're gonna talk to you guys later. Talk to you next week. Enjoy your rum. If you're not drinking rum, enjoy whatever else you're drinking, unless it's vodka, and then why. But anyway. Drink up, enjoy yourselves. Quarantiki Lovecraft Cocktails signing off.
Happy Memorial Day, thank you.
Happy Memorial Day. Grill something.